Hi, fashion dolls. It is Fierce Female Friday, April 1st, and welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie Daytime. Our very special guest today is one of the newest cast members of Chasing Atlanta Season 5. He's known for his collection, The House of JaeAmour, and you might have seen him design a fabulous gown for our very own, our girl, T.S. Lil Kendra. So, ladies and gentlemen, joining me in welcoming JaeAmour Robertson. Hey, Karma's Paradise. Make sure you guys please go and check out Karma's Paradise, which is Black owned. Special shout outs to our beauty contributor and makeup artist here at Style by Stevie, Melanie Nalla, my Bridges, for making sure that this face is right. Definitely please go and check out Karma's Paradise LLC, Black owned, and we're all about supporting Black owned businesses here at Style by Stevie. So without further ado, let's get into this interview with our very special guest, JaeAmour.
Hey,
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Dollhouse, my love. How are
I'm good. How
you?
are you today?
I'm doing excellent. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. I know you had to reschedule before, but thank you so much for still having me. Thank you.
You are so welcome. So before we get into this interview, how's your 2022 been thus far? We know it's been hectic with this pandemic going on, and with you being a designer, you wanting to do your shows, and even for Paris Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, Milan Fashion Week, a lot of designers had to take precautions. So for you as a designer, how's it affecting you and how have you been managing?
Actually, I'm able to just being able to keep moving forward. God has blessed me with some amazing clients who have kept me in business, have kept me working. I ain't had to go back to a 9 to 5 yet. Thank God to them. And actually, I just did a big show 2 weeks ago. I did my official launch for the House of JaeAmour. So that was the biggest show I have. That was my first show. I've been designing now for 9 years, and that was the first show that was my show. So it's actually been a great 2022.
So tell us, where did your love from fashion begin? Who are some of your favorite fashion designers that you pull influence from? Because I know you got to have some sort of influence.
I will say I love McQueen. There's no way you can even think about talking fashion without talking about McQueen. I love McQueen. I love Michael Costello. Let's see, who else do I love? Honestly, I love a lot of independent designers. It's just independent designers for me. I think you really get to see the true craft because they don't have to worry about the politics of fashion and all that other stuff. They just design from the heart. So you get to see the real, raw, and true designers. So, like, I love M. Diggs. He's an LGBT designer as well. Um, there's a lot. I personally prefer independent up and coming designers as opposed to big fashion houses.
Oh, you know who your personality reminds me of? And I did an interview with this designer. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Rico Chappelle, House of Chappelle. He's also in the Atlanta area.
He's
And
actually
he
my
said the same
mentor.
thing.
I interned for him.
What?
Yes, when I first moved to Atlanta, I interned for him for about a year.
Wow. And I can see some of his influence in some of your designs. Your designs are absolutely stunning. When I seen the design on Kendra, I said, oh my God, I have to repost this. I'm wearing a gown today. I'm sitting down, y'all. So I love my gowns. I love my dresses, especially during the springtime. And when I seen the red number that you did for Kendra, I
Mm-hmm.
was impressed.
Thank
So before we get to that, we're talking about your influences.
you.
So where did your back? Did you always know you wanted to do fashion?
No, I had no idea. Fashion was never in the plans for me. It's weird. So starting off, actually, I went to high school and I graduated high school as a medical assistant. I was working in the medical field. I loved my job. Like when I tell you I loved my job, like people like, let's go out. No, because I picked up an extra shift at my job. Like I loved what I did. So I graduated high school as a medical assistant. I started working with MRDD women. I had 8 MRDD women that I worked for. And I love my job. So I ended up working overtime every week because I would come in the mornings just to get them dressed. Like, I don't like the way they dress for work. So I would get them dressed, hair, makeup, all that stuff, send them off to work. The next thing I know, I was getting raises because people was calling in, giving compliments on how the ladies was looking. So I started getting raises from that. And like just looking back, I was always did fashion things. It just never clicked to me like, okay, this is a career. So I had gotten into a situation where I love my supervisor. literally, when I say I love my job, I was one of the people that really loved it. And I had a supervisor. My supervisor got a promotion. And he called me in the room. I was like, okay, well, this promotion, just give me one thing. Do not put me on Tina's team because I do not like Tina. That was my number one thing. He said, you were the only one that she asked for by name. So I ended up on this woman's team. And after that moment, I hated my job. So I literally was like, I came to work one day and she was like, you look like you don't want to be here. And I said, I don't. And that's something that would have never came from my mouth. But what she said after that, she looked at me and she said, are you working for your circumstances or are you working for your destiny? The very next thing out of my mouth, I don't know where it came from. I was like, I'm going to go to school for fashion. It just came out. I don't know where it came from. It just flew out my mouth. And she was like, well, I can actually see you doing that. And I was like, can you? Like, it was just weird. And then when I thought back on it and I was telling people, like, I think I want to do fashion, I was like, I always thought you would go into fashion. And I never realized it. But like, even my teacher in my medical school, when she was telling me that for my medical assistant, she was like, Jay, you was the only person who always came in here making scrubs an outfit. I was like, what you mean? She said you would always coordinate with your undershirt, with your shoes and your bags. But I never thought about it. It was just something that always came firsthand for me. It was my grandma growing up. She was like, oh, you better look good. Don't walk out this house looking a mess. So that was one thing that I learned from my grandma. So it was just like, it was natural. Like, friends always asked me, what should I wear? Help me pick out outfit. But it never clicked to me that was a career. And it just started from there.
I'm pretty sure the women of your family, your moms, your aunts, your sisters, your nieces, all of them are calling you for prom, weddings,
No,
business
they
for.
don't. And I'm gonna tell you, it's so weird. So
Wow.
my family loves my work, but like my little sister, I was like, Joy, why don't I make you such? She was like, she can't find something to wear. She was like, Jay, it's casual. I was like, I can do casual stuff. You think a kimono is casual? I'm like, a kimono is casual. Depends on how you wear it. So they like Jay does over the top stuff. From like my family is very simple, simplistic, but they still want to look good. They think my stuff is more over the top. They love what I do, but they would not be my clients, right?
Oh, yeah. This is a little bit more of my style. Couture, glamour, over the top. That's what I like.
Yeah.
So before we get into that aspect of it, I'm pretty sure you read a lot of fashion magazines. You pull from a lot of magazines. Like, what are some of your favorite eras of fashion?
I'm gonna be honest. I love old style glam, like old Hollywood,
Ooh,
like Dynasty, the original Dynasty. Like when girls came and they were dressed
Diane
from head to,
Carroll.
there
I
was
know what
no
you're talking about.
leggings to be found nowhere. It was head to toe dressed. Like I don't care if I'm going to the store, I am going to be dressed, coordinated from head to toe. Like I love that era, like the Dynasty era, like that for me. That was it. Like Dorothy Dandridge, Marilyn Monroe, that
Mm.
sophisticated, sexy, but still put together. That's my era. Like I love that. The glitz, the glam of all of it.
Okay, okay. Someone asked, when are you going on Project Runway?
A lot of people have asked me that, to be honest. Last season they actually reached out to me to apply. Um, I don't know if I want to do Project Runway. Like making something fast is no issue for me. Like the dresses you were talking about for Kendra, I literally did in like 48 hours. So I'm used to doing things fast. I want to be honest, Project Runway has gotten a little watered down, and I liked it back in the day when like the Michael Knights, the Christian Sirianos,
Oh,
all of
yes.
those, like when they were on there, I loved it because it was truly about fashion. Now with some stuff coming down the runway, and I'm like, is it wearable or is it just a costume? And that makes a difference. So it's just I don't know if Project Runway would be for me right now.
Right. I was kind of displeased when I saw Balmain's collection now. Last month's collection was absolutely
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. Olivier Rousteing did an absolute great job. But this one is given sort of athleisure mixed with, I mean, I don't know. I was just like, are y'all just throwing these designs together? Like you have to pull, when it comes to fashion, you have to pull inspiration from some sort of place.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, my favorite era of fashion would have to be the 80s. I love the 80s. I love bright, bold, and it's perfect for the spring times. So that means, structure. Like Isadina Lyre is one of my favorite fashion houses. Um, I love, love, love Saint Laurent. They've been around for years. Schiaparelli is another one of my favorite fashion houses. Like, it's so many. But when it comes to these some of these designers, it's just like, okay, did you have some input? Now, Christian Siriano, as you mentioned, beautiful collection this season. Spring 2022, I've seen the collection. Absolutely beautiful. And he's actually doing a Trump show, so it's funny you mentioned him. So, yeah.
See, and the one thing about fashion is fashion has become, I'm trying to figure out the best way to put it. It's not what it used to be, and a lot of fashion houses are struggling because people are so into that fast fashion, that Fashion Nova $10 dresses and these stretch dresses and and nothing wrong, ain't nothing wrong with a stretch dress, but it's like that's all that certain people are wearing. So some fashion houses are, to me, they're just grasping for anything at this point, because I really feel like the direction of fashion, no one knows where it's going at this point. It's literally going all over the place. Like, I'm seeing more gimmicks on runways than I'm seeing fashion. And back in the day, it was no gimmicks. It was all about the model had to have that straight walk and the outfit was perfect. Now it's just like, I really don't know where the future of fashion is going.
How far should we book you in advance for bridal?
Honestly, the earliest the better. The minute you have a date, to be honest. With that, booking me, it really just depends on what my current clientele is. I'm not one of them people who overbook. So if you really want it, I would just say book as early as possible. At least get your consultation out of the way. Because once that time slot is filled up, it's filled up. Right now, we are currently at about a 3-week turnaround time. Of course, we do some rush orders, but for bridal, I would definitely just say the earliest the better.
Someone said making the cut on Amazon. I'm missing comments. I'm sorry, y'all. My apologies. And we got another question from you. Black Barbie Loading says, how does someone get a dress designed by you? Are you accepting inquiries or bookings?
Yeah, so we are taking bookings at this time. So you can reach out to me. You can just send me a message through DM, and somebody from my team will get back with you if it's not me personally. Thank God for my team, because bookings have been coming in and in and in. So definitely someone from my team will reach back out to you. If you could just submit in my inbox, what you're looking for, the time frame, and if you have a certain budget that you're trying to stay within, and then we'll get back with you within 24 hours.
Okay. All right. There you go, fashion dolls. Yes, have your questions ready for Jay. We're talking fashion today, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get to Chasing Atlanta season 5, because I know everybody's waiting on that. The newest season just premiered not too long ago. You're now in the 2nd episode. So who's some of your fashion icons? Who are some of your favorite fashion girls out here or guys that are killing it for you?
I'm gonna be honest, it changes so quickly, because just like Heidi says, one day you're in and the next day you're out. Because for me, for a while, it was Lupita. Lupita was serving looks for a minute. Now lately, she's been cute, but it ain't been the same. But I will tell you who has really surprised me this award season is Jada. The past 2 awards,
Yes.
phenomenal look. So I'm excited to see her for the rest of the award season, see what she's going to be giving. Then there's some people to me who are always either, oh my God, it was a hit, or oh girl, it was a miss. Carrie, my mind is complete. Scandal. What's her
Kerry Washington.
Kerry Washington. She's either a hit or it'd be a miss. I always love her. The one person who, honestly, anybody else I'll be disappointed, but she always picks the same exact silhouette. I cannot think. My mind is gone. I cannot think of her name. She has a very heavy accent. She was on Modern Family. So I want to say Sophia. I can't think of her name.
Sophia Vergara.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is always well dressed. Always. It's always the same silhouette because she shows her body, but she is always well dressed. Definitely her. Taraji always brings it. Yeah. So those are my favorites that I will definitely. I have to figure out what they will have on the red carpet. I have to see it.
Oh yes, Small Biters. Regina King, when she hosted the Oscars the year before, did y'all see the opening sequence when she came in and it was like this I can't describe. It's a type of blue. I think it's a periwinkle type blue. She looked stunning. She has definitely been killing the red carpets. Sierra. A lot of people talk about Sierra's height and her proportions. She's a tall girl. I'm a tall girl myself. I'm 5'7".
But she works.
So you know when you're dressing your body proportions, when you're dressing, it's all about your height, proportion, whatever works for your figure, whatever works for your type. So even for me, I'm careful with picking out certain silhouettes because I'm just like, okay, I don't want to look blocked in. I want to just look like every woman wants. When we put on a gown or a dress, we want that hourglass silhouette. We want to look just like like you've mentioned in the beginning, Marilyn Monroe or Beyonce. Everybody went crazy over Beyonce's Oscars golden after party look, which is from Celia King. Absolutely beautiful. She came in with the veil. I just posted it on my Instagram not too long ago. So yeah, everybody wants that curvy hourglass silhouette.
Right.
So you got to make sure when you're dressing for your figure, for your body type, that you're doing what works for you. My mom is also a curvy woman as well too, and y'all know Miss Stevie loves to show a little cleave, a little back, a little leg, a little side, a little bit of all of that to y'all. I give it to y'all. My mom is not that type of woman. Y'all know she's a church going lady, so she just like, okay, let me put this shawl over this, and I'm just like, okay, mother. So whatever works for you, but me, I'm just like, let it all hang out. If you got it, embrace it. Yes. Okay, since we talked about fashion influences and reality TV, chasing reality. What was it like getting the call to be casted on this program? And it's been in the game for years. Chasing Reality's been in the game for years. You're now on the newest season, season 5. And we've got a few other style icons on the show. Shout outs to Dom and Troy as well, too. So tell us, what was that experience like when you getting the call to be casted on Chasing Reality?
I didn't know what was going to happen. I'm going to be honest with you. So I applied for Chasing Atlanta for season 2 and season 3. And I was done. I was like, okay, I ain't going to get on the show. I'm still a fan of the show and watch the show. I'm not worried about it anymore. The management team that I had at that time was like, no, you need to apply for season 5. It's like, for what? They don't want me. I already applied twice. They don't want me. I'm moving on. I got clients. I ain't really worried about it. So she was like, just apply, just apply, just apply. So I was like, okay. So I applied. And then a couple other people I knew, they was like, I got the email, they told me no, whatever. And I was like, I got an email saying no, I ain't get that yet. So I'm just like, okay, I ain't think nothing of it. So I'm literally laying in bed and I got the email that I got on, and I was like, I was shocked. Like, I really was. I was shocked. But I will say, as a fan of the show and now a cast member of the show, I'm very happy that I did not get casted for season 2 or season 3. For me, the timing was perfect for me to come on for this season. The timing was right for my career at the time, because if I would have came in on season 2, y'all would have not seen what y'all see now. So I literally put in work beforehand, and it wasn't even about being on a reality show. It was just like, now I have my careers together, and now I can show the world my career together. Now, granted, I'm still going to show y'all the struggles of an independent designer on the show, but I feel like it was the right time. It was the perfect timing, and I really was not going to do it at first, because I was like, I applied before, I ain't going to get it. I had did reality TV before. I was like, I definitely don't want to do it after doing that last show I was on. But it just, everything came through perfectly.
Yes, absolutely. And it's an ensemble cast. You got Oliver Twist, who's working alongside our girl T.S. Madison. You got our girl T.S. Lil Kendra. We'll get to the process of how designing the gown for, because I know Kendra's personality. I had her and Wayne on the show, and we talked, and she's so down to earth. That's my girl. That's my sister.
She is.
I love me some Kendra. And Lauren, and another fashion girl. So, I mean, the cast is amazing this season. And when I seen you on the trailer, when I seen the hat and everything, I said, oh my God, this is giving very much Philip Tracy. When I seen you with the hat and everything, I'm pretty sure Philip Tracy was one of your influences as well too with fashion, because he makes those beautiful ascot hats for like when you go into the Royal Derby and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. And Grace Jones has worn some of his pieces, Victoria Beckham, Beyonce, of course. Like some of the most beautiful women have been captured wearing a Philip Tracy piece.
So let me.
Even the one that has the feathers with Linda
Mm-hmm.
Evangelista. It's like all of these feathers for Valentino. If you've seen the Valentino collection at the Met Gala, one of the women on the red carpet wore a Philip Tracy piece. And I said, oh my God, this is so intricate. So
I'm
I'm pretty sure.
I'm gonna have to look her up. But that hat, when I tell you that hat piece, I was so excited. Like I literally, when I knew what color we had to do for the promo shoot, I didn't even know what my outfit was going to be. Literally, I made my outfit that morning. My hat was the most important piece to me. So that hat was actually made by Sarah Soku. Um, she's an amazing hat designer. So like she's done all of Cardi B's hats for the Money video. Beyonce, she did Beyonce Black is King. She had a headpiece in there. She's worked with everybody. So Billy Porter, the chandelier that opened and closed, that was her hat.
Oh yeah.
Ridiculous. So I had met her before. We did a show together in Chicago. And she's a sweetheart. She's really like any advice I need, she's right there. She'll give me all types of advice. And I was like, I really want this hat. So she sent me the hat, and the gag was that hat was the same exact hat that Gaga had on. So Gaga had it on before me, because she posted the picture the day before she sent it to me. It had Gaga in the hat, and I was like, "Oh my God, is this the hat you're sending me?" Like I was so excited. So it literally, when that package came to my house, I was so excited to open up and put it on my head. Like it was crazy. Like I was so excited. I did not care anything about my outfit. I just had my headpiece, and that was it. Did not care about anything else but that headpiece. Mm-mm.
Yes, shout outs to Sarah. And I'm definitely gonna check out some of her work. Y'all go and follow Sarah. Another elegant hat designer that makes hats, God bless his soul, is the late Terry Mcglare. If you go back and you look at some of his designs, like he had the models walk out with these hats that literally showed just an eye through the hat. And he had a lens, and we lost a fashion icon today as well to Patrick Demarchelier, who shot for Vogue magazine, Naomi Campbell, and shot some of the world's most beautiful models. He even shot the late Whitney Houston. I hate that we're saying the late, but
Yeah.
he has such an eye and a prolific lens for capturing fashion and beauty for Vogue magazine. So yeah.
Wow. Um, he passed away today. Is that what you said?
We are excited for work with JaeAmour. He is awesome. Runway Inc. And Jay is a beautiful man. Koopa's 78.
Thank you.
Someone says that you're their fave on Chasing Atlanta as well too.
Oh wow, 2 episodes in. That's a lot. Well, thank you. I hope I'm still your favorite by the
Yes,
end of the season.
people are gravitating to your work because they love your work. Even me, I was starstruck. So the big moment, here it comes. Designing the gown for our girl, Kendra. What was it like, and how did you know how to match her personality? Because we know Kendra, she's crazy with the fashion. She kills the game every single time.
I'm gonna be honest. When I met Kendra, we clicked instantly. Like we literally clicked instantly. So you will actually see on the next episode of Chasing Atlanta, you'll see the time that me and her actually met for the first time. And when she walked in, she loved. She was like, "I love your work," and I was like, "Girl, I love you." Like our personalities, we just clicked instantly. And honestly, coming into the show, Kendra was one of the people like I don't know how we were going to click. Like I liked her watching the show, but you know how like sometimes you might have different perceptions of people seeing them on TV. So I'm like I don't know what she's going to be like in person. But when I tell you she is one of the sweetest people. She is one of the sweetest people you will ever meet. Like when I tell you like when my grandmother passed away, she was caught. You all right? You need anything? You good? You okay? You okay? Like she went out her way to make sure I was good. Kendra is a sweetheart. And we just clicked instantly. So when she came, she was like, I want you to do a dress. She was telling about it. She was like, okay, everything. She was like, you know, the dark side is coming. It's about being dark and da-da-da. And she was telling me everything. And then she played the song. And I was like, can I be honest? And she was like, what? I said, I don't see black for this. And she was like, well, just do what you want to do. And I'll see you later. And I was like, huh? Like, it's very rare as a designer, you have clients that just be like, do whatever you want to do. And I was like, she was like, so what do you want? First she said, well, what color? And I was like, I want to use this material right here. And I pulled out the material. And she was like, okay, just do whatever you want to do. I'll see you tomorrow. And I got her measurements. She came in when she saw the dress, she just stopped. And she was like, this is it. And it literally, when I tell you, we did that dress in less than 48 hours. And it was, I loved it. Like, even when she walked in that dress, she stopped people's conversations. Like, and everyone just stopped and stared. That was a moment. It was a moment.
Why some people be shading Tory?
I think she might mean Troy.
Oh, Troy.
I can't really say. You have this season on Chasing Atlanta. That's all I can really say. You know, as of right now, on episode 2, you know, me and Troy had a small little run in, but I mean, you never know what the future holds. You just keep watching. That's all I can really say.
Definitely stay tuned. When I seen the trailer, I said, "Oh God, this is gonna be explosive." And when I seen you with the hat, that grabbed my attention right there. And my girl Kendra came in delivering, but
and see, what took me by surprise, it's one thing to be a fan on the show, because I had a fan moment and I had a career moment for me, because it was like me being on it was a lot to take in, because honestly, we didn't know who lead cast was going to be until y'all found out. Like, we found out at the same exact time. We had no idea who, because there's more cast members that still be introduced. Like, you'll meet someone else this coming week named Aaron. He's a phenomenal singer, songwriter, amazing. So you're still meeting cast members, but we had no idea who was going to be main cast until the trailer, until it dropped last week in front of everybody. But for me, it was amazing because I actually, within the first episode, considering I was a fan of Chasing Atlanta from season 1, within the first episode, there was 5 people who had all my designs. So you had me in the opening credits. Kendra's outfit in the opening credits is JaeAmour also. Drew Friday, her outfit in the opening credits is mine also. I can't say who else had on JaeAmour, because it'll give it away, but you'll find out later on. But yeah, so there were 5 outfits on the first episode that was JaeAmour, and it was a moment for me career-wise, and because I was a fan of the show. Like, oh my God, I've been a fan of the show. I'm seeing myself on the show, and I'm seeing my work on the show. It was a lot to take in. Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of support. Like, everybody's coming in. Jay, they're spamming the hearts. And Jiggy Jazz says, I think y'all will be good friends. That blue hat was everything.
Oh, thank you. So I have a thing for hats. I have a thing for fedoras. So all my fedoras are actually custom. They're done by a woman named Amina. She works at Fruition. It's a Black-owned hat company here in Atlanta. They're located in the Lenox Mall and as well as Metropolitan, the big strip mall over there. But their work is amazing. I love them. I love to support independent Black designers, up-and-coming Black designers, and their work is amazing.
Talk about it, because I talk about it a lot on my platform, how we support all of these big fashion houses like Gucci. I'm like, these people don't want us wearing their garments. Why not support up-and-coming Black fashion designers? Jerry Reed is another one. Jerry Reed, Harlem, New York. His designs, y'all both have a very prolific eye for when it comes to capturing what people want to wear. You're not afraid to step outside of your comfort zones. And that's what I love about you and Jerry Reed, New York, right here on Instagram. And he's also another LGBT designer, Black-owned fashion house. So we got to start supporting these up-and-coming Black fashion houses and designers. Don't get me wrong. I love my Fashion Nova. Blue Haze Clothing is another one that I love to support as well, too, also in Atlanta. Someone asked, when is the men's collection dropping?
So I do menswear, but it's normally by request only. Like, I have a couple men's pieces that, like, I have the Nick 2-piece jogger set that a lot of men have worn. I do men's, but it's typically by order only, just because, and I'm not ready to release a full collection yet. because I feel like once I release that full collection, it needs to be something I can stand back and be 100% proud in. And there's certain things that I like, and there's certain things I'm like, okay, I'm still perfecting that. Like women, I can make a gown in my eye with my eyes closed in 2 hours. Like I can do that. But when it comes to menswear, until I'm at that point where I feel like I can knock it out quickly, I can't post it for sale because I'm like, I need you to come in and do fittings, alterations, things like that. So until I'm 100% ready to drop it, and I know I can do it in my sleep, I'm only doing custom orders for men's right now.
And Jiggy Jazz asked, will you do a women's bathing suit?
I actually have before, and I will do it again.
Okay. So swimwear, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And to add on to that question that, let me go back up a little bit. Love Mitch says, when it comes to doing men's collection, menswear, men are shaped a little bit different than women. Like they got broader shoulders and all of these things. So you have to go into all of the details. And the question is, because I used to put on fashion shows down here in my state in South Carolina, and our seamstress, God rest her soul, she would have to get some of the guys for the fitting. Some of the guys didn't really want to show up to the fitting. That's a whole different thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, wow, the measurements are a little bit bigger than the average woman's measurements, especially when you're going overseas. The women over there in China, they're shaped a little bit more smaller. Now, the average woman in America is a whole different story. So, which leads me to my next question, garments. What are some of your favorite type of garments that you like to use?
I love gowns. Like gowns, if I could do gowns all day long. In fact, I'm working on the gown right now. But I love gowns. I actually just introduced bridal. I've done 2 bridal pieces in the past, but at my last show I just did, I actually did multiple bridal pieces, and I'm getting this, so the full bridal line is out. In fact, my finale dress right here is behind me. That is the bridal gown.
Stunning.
So for me, it's like I love gowns. I love dresses. I love a good pantsuit. I do love a good pantsuit. But it's mostly gowns. In my Aretha voice, gowns, beautiful gowns.
I love gowns. So it's something about putting on a gown. I remember the black dress that I wore on the show with the back out. Everybody knows that picture in the black bob. It's something about putting on a gown and just walking out. You feel like a queen or a princess or something, just carrying that train along with you. And then when you walk, it blows in the wind. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love gowns. It brings out my femininity. So.
Because
Speaking of, go ahead. I'm
oh
sorry.
no, it's something about putting on, especially something flowy, and when you feel it, that's what my tagline is: wear the love you deserve. Because JaeAmour stands for Jay's love. So wear the love you deserve. Like when you get dressed, if you don't love the way you feel, then it wasn't for you. But it's all about the feeling that you get when you put that on, whatever that may be for you. Whether it's something tight fitting, flowing. Once you get that feeling when you get dressed, it literally shows on your face that you love what you're wearing.
All right, fashion dolls. Do we have any questions for Jay before we take any questions from Jay? We're gonna do our question segment. But before we get into that, we're gonna do 2 games with Jay. The first one is gonna be called the Rapid 5, and he has to tell me 5 things that he can't live without. And then the next one is gonna be called the Gift of the Garment, and I'm gonna go down the name of some iconic fashion designers, and you tell me the first word that comes to your mind about some of these fashion designers that I named. So we're going to start off with the Rapid 5. What are 5 things that Jay can't live without?
Oh my God. Family, friends, the kitchen, because I love to cook,
Okay.
my sewing machine, and music.
All right. That's 5. That's 5. And you believe in family. I'm a big lover of family and friends. It's all about having that solid support circle.
Mm-hmm.
And Runway Inc. Oh my God, I love the name. Discuss the various lines in your brand.
Okay, so we have JaeAmour, which is more the ready-to-wear. It's at a more of affordable price range. And then we have JaeAmour Signature, which are my more upscale gowns, custom pieces, and more of what you think when you think runway, Real Housewives reunion type gowns, things like that, more upscale. Of course, the price is higher. Then you do have the JaeAmour men's. So that is the men's ready-to-wear and men's custom pieces. So those are the 3 brands that we have right now. Oh, and then JaeAmour Bridal, which is actually called Amour de ma vie, which means love of my life.
All right. All right. All right, fashion dolls, it is time for the gift of the garment. Let's get right into it. So I'm going to go down the list of some fashion icon houses.
Okay.
And you tell me the first word that comes to your mind with some of these fashion houses. The first one I'm going to go with is Christian Dior.
Oh. First thing that comes to my mind when I think Dior. It's weird because I actually think makeup because I love I have a Christian Dior eyebrow pencil that I love. So that's the first thing that comes to my mind. But when I think about their fashion, clean is very clean, simplistic but clean.
All right. The next one is Giambattista Valli Paris.
Jaw dropping. Like you cannot everything. There was a white gown that Taraji was supposed to wear to one of the award shows. So Jason Boland is her stylist, and he has a show on Netflix called Styling in Hollywood. The white gown that she was supposed to wear, when I tell you it was phenomenal, but she couldn't wear it because it had a rip in it. It was amazing. It was everything. Just jaw dropping. That's all I can say.
All right. The next fashion house is, we are going to give it to Jean Paul Gaultier.
I don't even know what to say because I love his work. I don't know. You putting out good ones. I don't know. One word. Original. I would say that original. Definitely. Because I don't look at his stuff and be like, oh, I can see such and such, or that looks like this or that. When you see his work, you know it's his work. I don't even, like, I can look at his work and not even know where he got inspiration from. You know how some designers, you be like, oh, okay, I see their inspiration. With him, it's 100% original. Like, I don't see where he got it from. It completely came from him.
The next fashion house that we're going to get into is, of course, one of my favorites, Schiaparelli.
Why is my mind drawing a blank? I mean, honest, my mind just drew a blank. I can't think of who that is. My mind just drew a blank. I'm sorry.
He designed, remember the bra-like top with the body, the gold body that Zendaya wore? That's Schiaparelli. Yeah.
Okay, I'm being honest. I really can't say because my mind just went blank. I can't think of who that is.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My mind just went blank.
Go to
I'm sorry.
another one.
Okay, yeah, next. I'm sorry.
Valentino.
I love Valentino. Valentino actually, Mary J. Blige wears a lot of Valentino, but I love Valentino. It's I don't know what the first word will come to my mind. I don't know. I'm not good with this. Classic. He's a staple in fashion, so I'll just say classic. I don't know what else I would say. I'm sorry.
For Valentino, I would say sophisticated because his designs, like his couture collection, is just so beautiful. It's like looking at a dream.
Mm-hmm.
It's like looking at a dream. So, yes. All right, that is the gift of the garments, fashion dolls. We're going to take some questions now from the audience. Okay. Shout out to our girl Liz, who's in the New York area, musician, absolutely beautiful. So you guys, please go and check her out. How do you reinvent a look that has been around for decades?
Okay, so for me, because like a lot of people will come to me and say they want this type of dress, but it's something that you've seen definitely before. So for me, I think the biggest thing is to only look at that dress once, then look at some other things, and then go back and go sketch it. Because once you look at it, you don't want to look at it, and then try to sketch something because your eye is still going to be on that. But if you take a quick glance at it, then look at some other things that has nothing to do with it, you can still pull into it still connects you to your own originality to it. Um, and I just think you have to think of how to still keep it you, but still keep it classic as well as to what it was originally. But still find a way to put your own spin on it, even if that's changing the hemline, changing the shoulder, changing the drape of it. It's just the little things that you can do that will make the dress look completely different. Because I have some pieces that, to me, it's the same dress to me. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna cut the back different. I'll cut the back at this angle. I'll cut this at this angle, and it's a completely different dress, but it still has the same feel. You can still tell it's my work, but there's a little details that you can change.
Is there a particular color palette you stay within, and why?
So not intentionally. I love animal print. I thoroughly love animal print. In fact, I didn't realize how much I use animal print until my mom was like, Jay, can I give you a challenge? I was like, what? She said, I want you to do one collection without any animal print. And I was like, do I use that much animal print? I was like, oh, I guess I do. So I'm always gravitating towards white, animal print, burgundy, and black. Those are like those colors. I don't know why, but I always find myself, because I love, especially white and black together. It's just so clean and crisp, and I
It's
love it.
classic.
It just, I love it. But those are the things that I'm typically drawn to.
When I think of black and white, I think of Audrey Hepburn at Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yes.
You know, her sitting outside the window at Tiffany's, her hair in this French roll, and she's got the black glasses. That's what I think of when I think of black and white. It's so classic. And me, I've kind of shifted away from it. So you'll see me play with different colors throughout different seasons of this program. So yeah. What do you feel is an unflattering dress pattern on a woman?
I feel like every pattern can be unflattering if you don't have the right shape for it. And the reason why I say that is because when it comes to fashion, there is no such thing as a one size fits all. So just because you're a size 6 doesn't mean a bodycon dress will look good on you. You might not look good in a bodycon. You might need a peplum. You may need something else. So honestly, I feel like it's more so about knowing your body. Then once you know your body, you can figure out exactly what silhouettes look good on you, and then go from there. And once you figure out your silhouette, keep that silhouette, and there's a number of different things you can do within certain silhouettes, but it will always complement you.
Do you feel accessories are essential, and which is a must for you?
So I'm torn on that. Yes and no. It depends on the event, because when I first started, I did not do any accessories. Like, I very rarely wore accessories myself. I have started to wear accessories, but sometimes I don't think it's essential. Like, back in the day, I'd be like, oh, you need a necklace, you need the earrings, you need this, you need that. And a lot of people would think that way. But now if you look a lot of times on a red carpet, you'll see times in which some people will have through a necklace on, and they won't be out there. Their stylist didn't put one on them. So it's one of those things of, it depends on what your style is. For me, I'm the type of person, I like the head to toe look. So I would want the accessories and the jewels when it comes to me dressing someone else. But nowadays we're at a point where some people just don't wear
Less is more, right?
Yeah.
And you know who else? Victoria Beckham wrote a book as well too. I can't remember the name of her book. I'm looking at it right now. It's called let me see. Ooh, I have to grab it, y'all. That extra half an inch. That's what it's called. That extra half an inch. And she was talking about that in her book, you know, about how she doesn't really do earrings. And, you know, for me, all you'll see me do is earrings and my favorite rings. And that's about it. Those are your key staple pieces, you know, when you're accessorizing for whatever it is. Now, sometimes I might be bold. One of my influences is Grace Jones. And we all know that she does not care. She will come out there with every bangle on her arm, makeup color out to here. She was just outrageous with it. She didn't care. She's so unapologetic. And in a way, Rihanna is like a Grace Jones, where she's unapologetic with her fashion. You know, she doesn't care. So I like Rihanna as well too.
No, I definitely like Rihanna. She's very opinionated, and she does things that I don't think anyone else would do, and it works for her. That's honestly a lot of people I know. They will wear some things I'd be looking like I would never pull that off. I would never put that together, but it works for them. And Rihanna, one thing about Rihanna, Rihanna is going to give a look. It doesn't matter what it is. It's going to be a look from head to toe. She's going to give.
And don't let her know that she's fashionably late. One of the reporters that was reporting when she showed up at the Dior show, she said, "You're late." And Rihanna said, "Yeah, are you shitting me?" She just walked in with so much confidence. She just didn't care. Like, she can be fashionably late because she's Rihanna. And she did that back at the Grammys, I think in, 2014, when she came in with the pink Giambattista Valley. She was the last to show up on the red carpet. And everybody was talking about that moment when she came in with that pink. So, yeah. Oh, goodness. What advice do you have for aspiring designers is a question. And what's your favorite thing to cook? Thank you, Jay Evans.
Let's see. So, my favorite thing to cook, I don't know. Okay, so I love to cook roast, but a lot of my friends, they love when I do stuffed fish, lasagna. Those are the two that everyone loves when I cook, but I love to cook a roast. I don't know. I just like that old school feeling. Like, it makes me feel like I'm connected more with my grandma. Like, because she would cook like the slow stuff. It took a minute. She ain't do no fast meals. So like when you cooking like stuff that takes a minute, you got to put that love into it. That's the type of stuff that I love to cook. And you said, what advice? What'd you say? What advice for designers? Was that the question?
Yeah, aspiring designers.
Never give up. Because I'm going to be honest, it took, a lot of people see my work now and they're like, oh my God. And it looks like I got here overnight. It's been 9 years. I literally my first 7 years, I may have made $400. And that's over the whole first 7 years. But it's one of those things, if it's what you're passionate about, don't give up. Yes, everybody and their mama got a fashion line. Everybody and their mama got clothing lines. Everybody and their mama got everything else. But there isn't a you on that market. So, oh yes, that was one of my product pieces. So just make sure you stay true to you. Don't let anyone else dictate what type of stuff you go down the runway. At the end of the day, as long as you like it, it doesn't matter what anybody else says. Because as long as you like it and you support what you do 100%, your client will find you.
Liz wants to know, what famous individuals would you like to see your designs on?
Okay, so people talk about me when I answer this. So I am the complete opposite. I do not want to dress Beyonce. I don't want to dress Rihanna. The thing is, because I feel like the more iconic women, you know that when they show up, they are going to be dressed to a T. And then next week, they're going to be dressed to a T. The week after that, they're going to be dressed to a T. And then you're just get lost in the sauce. So I would rather dress someone like a Whoopi or like, God forgive me, I just Lisa, what is her name? Not Lisa. Lisa Leslie. Is that her name? I can't think. She has like the short spiky hair. Black girl, she did Busters. I believe that's her name.
Leslie Jones?
Yes.
Leslie Jones.
So I would like dress people like that who aren't known to be the fashion girl. So that way it's a moment when they show up like, oh, like we gotta stop the track because we ain't never seen you dressed like this before. That's who I would rather dress. Because on top of that, like when Leslie Jones did Ghostbusters, I don't know if you heard about it, but it was a lot of people refused to dress her. A lot of major designers refused to dress her because she was never known as the fashion girl. But to me, that is your ultimate moment to put your staple. You take someone who's not known as the fashion girl and put them into something and make them that it girl for that moment. You have a client for life, and now everybody wants to know who you are because you've now dressed this person.
What is a piece of clothing you wear every day because it has become a part of your persona, and how do you keep motivated?
So I have two. I have two things. So my friend, and well, he's actually my manager now. Wayne, he says all the time that I have my business sweats because I throw on sweats 24/7. It'd be the same sweats, but I have JaeAmour on and I'd be out the door moving. But then I love a kimono. Like I'm actually wearing one right now. I love kimonos. They just fly in the wind. You can dress it up. You can dress it down. You can wear jeans. You can dress it up. Like I love me a kimono. It's just something about that movement because I'm tall. I'm 6'7", so like me moving and just flowing in the wind. I love a good kimono. Oh, and then
Okay, okay.
how do I stay motivated? For me, it just becomes natural because I'm the type of person that with especially in this industry, you can be here today, gone tomorrow. So it's one of those things that with this industry constantly changing, you have to constantly improve. Because the style that was rocking next week may not be the style for next week. Like it's constant back and forth. So it's just for me, it's the fact of trying to remain relevant. It was and still keeping my same energy as a designer and my same feel.
And fashion changes. It does not stay the same. Yes, history repeats itself, but even for me, I have to reinvent myself on this platform every season.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to do it. People just like, well, you don't stay the same. One day you'll have red hair. The next day you have, yesterday I did colorful hair. The next day you have black hair. Like, even when it comes to fashion choices, I'm always pushing the envelope. I just don't care. Whereas my mom, like I've mentioned, her being Christian, coming from this Christian background down here in the South,
Mm-hmm.
they like to cover certain things. Me, I don't care. And that's just the bold outside of me. She's a Libra, I'm a Scorpio. And we already know what Scorpios get. We're wild, we're adventurous, we love to explore. And for me, I love to explore with different hairstyles, different fashion textures and things. Another question from Liz. What has been your greatest partnership and how did it begin?
Um, my greatest partnership. Ooh. Yes, I would dress police. I'm sorry, that question popped up while I'm thinking about that. My greatest partnership. That's hard because I've actually met and worked with a lot of phenomenal people. Um, Actually, I would have to say that would be Christina Scott. She when I first started, I'm the person I had to run and jump into it because if I don't jump into it, it ain't gonna happen. So literally, when I first met her, she put on the biggest shows there was in Ohio. And at the time, I'm from Columbus, and Columbus was actually number 3 in the United States for fashion. So her shows wasn't like a 200 people. Her shows would be like 500 people sold out. Like it would be huge, huge productions. And I was doing it, and when I first was like, okay, I want to be a fashion designer. I hit her up. I was like, hey, do you have room for any other designers? And she was like, sure. Are you a designer? I was like, yes. Now, granted, at the time I had not touched the sewing machine at all. Um, and she put me in her sight unseen. And I touched the sewing machine for the first time July 2012, and I debuted my collection September 2012. So it was literally 3 months self-taught. And because of her, she saw how much I wanted it and my drive. And she made sure that everyone in Ohio knew who I was. Like she opened up so many doors for me. After that, every show I was a headliner at every show that she did, and then from there, people were asking me to come do shows out of town. When they did the Ohio Fashion Awards, because of her, I opened the Ohio Fashion Awards, and I was nervous as hell. So I'm like, don't nobody know who I am? Like, girl, I ain't been out 6 months, and then I also was nominated for Ohio's Emerging Designer of the Year, and she just made sure she kept pushing me to put me in that forefront, and it has been. If it was not for her, JaeAmour would not be where it is today.
Okay, got another question. What materials are difficult to work into a shape or pattern?
Okay, so because I'm self-taught, I actually did everything reverse. So I love silks and taffeta, which is non-stretch. So because of that, when I first started, even though I was self-taught, those were the materials that I started with. So most people think that those materials are the hardest because they don't have any stretch and don't have any give. But for me, that's what I'm used to working with. So it's actually easier for me. I mean, honest, stretch pieces are still a pain in my butt to me because it's just so much extra work, like with zippers to make sure it lays flat as opposed to a non-stretch material. So for me, the hardest ones to actually work, I would say, are like anything that's like heavily embellished or heavily sequenced, like Kendra's dress. Because if you slice it wrong, if you stitch it wrong, some of the sequence will stand straight up instead of laying down smooth. Then you have to make sure all the sequences going in the right direction when you're cutting it. So that way it still lays smooth, but still the color lines are the same as opposed to if it was upside down, it can also mess up the color lines. So I would say sequence and anything that's heavily embroidered.
What's a fashion no-no that you feel has said that you see a lot of people rocking?
Leggings. Leggings are a no-no, but when you're wearing leggings are not a replacement for pants. So that's the biggest thing that like literally irks my nerve is like, especially wearing nude and skin tone leggings and a crop top, it looks like you're naked. It's just not.
No.
It's not the look, and leggings were made for shirts that go past the waistline, unless you're in a gym. Um, so it's just I don't like leggings. Leggings were the
What
death
are
of
your
fashion
thoughts
for me.
on what are your thoughts on ripped clothing?
I'm not gonna lie, I like me a good pair of ripped jeans. I still do ripped jeans, but only to a certain extent. Some people go so far and it looks like the jean is holding on for dear life because it only has like 3 strands connecting it. Um, I think ripped is still in style, but there's a certain amount of rips that is okay. Once this becomes too much, it's time to let it go.
Jay Evans says they even wear the leggings to
They
church.
sure
Yeah.
do, and I just be looking
Oh
like
my God.
it's out of control. And then I got the leggings with the
It's
scrunched
other
up booty to make the
options.
booty look bigger. I'm like, that is not, it's not flattering at all. It's not.
No.
Mm-mm.
I mean, there's other options of other things you can wear, to be comfortable when you're going to church, like a nice sundress, and throw a shawl, whatever works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Some people even wear jeans, but whatever works for you, whatever makes you feel comfortable, especially with this thing going on. Lately I've been doing a lot of dresses. It's lately for me, it's been a lot of dresses because it's comfortable for me and it's feminine, it's flirty. It's something about when that gown blows when you're walking in the wind. Like your kid, like have y'all seen season 14's Housewives? Kenya Moore, she did one of those reels, and the gown, the dress that she had on was just blowing. Like
I haven't
that's what
seen
I
that.
like. I like, yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
What do you think is the next color palette that will take the fashion world by storm?
I knew it was going to be bright colors just because of right now, everything that we've been dealing with the past couple of years has been very dark in the house. So I knew it was going to be bright. But paying attention to the Oscars this past weekend, is going to be yellow. Everybody is wearing yellow. Like Beyonce showed up. Yes, she was wearing yellow, but before that, there was a lot of other people that showed up in yellow. Yellow is being requested by a lot of the stylists this year. Um, Yellow is going to be bright colors this spring. Definitely bright colors, but yellow, it seems like it's going to be taking precedent for a minute.
Y'all know I'll be following Pantone, so I stay on I stay on top of Pantone when they drop the color of the year or the color for this season or each season or whatever it's gonna be. We got a couple questions from our Wayne brand. So what was the best part of your fashion show? How did you feel when it was over? We got one from Liz. Yeah, we answered that one. Yeah, from our Wayne. We got one from our Wayne.
For me, oh God, okay, I'm sorry, I'm trying to cry. Um, for me, it was walking in. It was a lot. I wanted to cancel that show so many times. My grandmother passed away a month before the show, and she was one of my biggest inspirations. And it was hard for me to start
So,
sewing, to do anything. Like I literally everything that was shown at that show was made the week of the show. because I literally want to cancel so many times. But when I walked in, because I have an amazing management team, like they took care of everything. They was like, nope, just show up. Do you want to do everything? When I walked in and I saw everything that I wanted, and it was as if I actually did everything myself. Like it was that well put together. I felt like for the first time in my life, I felt like I was somebody. And to know that everyone was there for me. And I saw like my gowns and pictures on the wall, my logo on the runway and logo on the floor. I felt like I was the owner of $1 million brand. So that was one of the biggest moments. And then to see the look on my mom's face. Like I have never seen my mom, sorry. I had never seen my mom that proud of me before. And like that, just seeing a look on her face made everything worth it for me. Like it didn't matter if all my dresses fell apart on the runway, just to see the look on my mom's face. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
$1
billion brand, baby. That's a huge accomplishment. You see the response that your work is getting here on this platform. People love your work. And that's why I invited you on my talk, because I'm a fashion girl, and we definitely gonna be the best of fashion friends. I will be checking out more of your collection, and my fashion dolls here will as well too. Do you think entertainers show more love to white designers than black? Powerful question.
That's a great question, but I will say what a lot of people don't know, I will say 9 times out of 10, the artist has no idea what they're wearing until the day of. It's the stylist. So it's not necessarily the designer, because unless you have someone like Cardi B, because Cardi B is very hands-on. She knows exactly what designer she wants, what style, everything. But most people, they don't know. It's literally the stylist. Like, and especially like watching like Styling Hollywood, like Taraji, she don't know what she wearing until she shows up and literally Jay pulls in 6 or 7 garments. She don't know who those people are. So it comes to a point of we have to make sure that we're holding the stylists accountable and not necessarily the designers. Because as an entertainer, you hire people to handle certain things for you, because you have a lot of million different things you got to worry about: your album, your movie, your lines, your other contracts that you're working on, everything. You don't always have time to figure out exactly what you're wearing from head to toe, and that's why you hire a stylist. So I feel like it's more so the stylist needs to start pulling from Black designers. And then we also have to take into consideration the things that we do, because a lot of times we as Black people support people who steal black designers from Black designers. Fashion Nova is number one. Fashion Nova has been caught out multiple times for stealing ideas, and not even stealing the ideas, stealing the exact garment from Black designers who are trying to make it and redoing it. I had one outfit in particular that I had made for T.S. Madison, and she had tried it on, because it was when we was in Detroit. I did 3 outfits for her. She tried one of them on, and literally 2 months later, that dress was on ASOS. And to the point when I originally saw, because I actually saw later, she ended up not wearing that. She wore a red dress, but later on, it was a red dress one. But later on, she had posted a picture in that dress that her stylist had got, and I thought it was my dress for a minute. I was like, "Oh, that's my dress." I was like, "No," because I only had 2 layers and not 3. And I looked, and it was a dress from ASOS, and I was stuck. Like I was completely stuck, to the point I even showed the picture to somebody else, and they was like, "Oh, she's wearing your dress." I was like, "No, that's not mine." But look who else it is. So it's a lot of companies that do that, but we have to support our own people in our own community by saying we have to support these designers. Let's not support these companies. Yes, it's a $10 dress that you can get from ASOS, but what about the person who spent their last $10 and their lights might be cut off because they were really trying to produce that look that's now stolen from them? So we really have to make sure that we are supporting it ourselves before we say what about the entertainers, because the entertainers are only doing what they're going to do, but we as the majority still have to support that as well.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of racism in the fashion industry when it pertains to Black designers out there. Shout outs to La Roche. Remember the Met Ball, the previous, just this year, not too long ago, where La Roche invited all of the Black designers Lewis Hamilton, Shakari Richardson, it was Kaylani, him, and a few other black designers. He brought them all. He said, I'm not coming by myself. I'm bringing my whole table to showcase. The Met Ball has been called out for that several times with them not wanting to showcase black fashion designers. And I think Regina King is actually going to be, someone mentioned Regina in the beginning of the interview. She's actually going to be co-chairman, I think, this year for this year's Met Ball. That's what they're saying. And that's from Vogue magazine. So I was reading that. So yes, I can't wait to see what she's going to be wearing. But we do need to see more black fashion designers in these luxury fashion houses. You know, showcasing their luxury fashion houses. You know, I don't support Gucci. I don't support Burberry, Givenchy, all of them. I just cannot, after, you know, the claims of racism and stuff that they've done. You know, the sweat, after I seen the sweater for Gucci, I said, okay, this is enough for me right here. Exactly. So I literally, every time I see a picture with Gucci and Vogue magazine, rip it out, ball it up, and throw it in the garbage. Like, that's how petty I am. I don't support it. I'm pro-black, you know, supporting black fashion designers. Yes, I shop at Fashion Nova, but, you know, I understand what they do. I'm like, okay, this piece looks a little similar to another designer's piece, but if it's not a piece that's, you know, similar to another designer's, I'm not going to wear it. I wear pieces that are, you know, just regular every day. But if it looks like something, okay, Saint Laurent did or Mcglare did, I'm not going to wear it.
Right.
And Kim Kardashian's been called out for that as well, too, you know, not giving black fashion designers credit, and you're rocking their designs. So, yeah, I mean, that's the fashion industry. It's very cutthroat.
Yeah, and it's past the designers, because it's like, at this point, it's like you have no one black working for you at all. Because if someone that was black was working for you, a lot of these outfits, like the mask with Gucci, the shirt with H&M with the little kid, like, they'll be like, this ain't, what is this? So now the question is, not only do you hire black designers, but do you hire black people higher up at all? Because someone in that room should have said, this ain't right. Like, somebody should have said something. So it really makes me question, not just on a designer level, but do you have anyone in your company that are higher up of color or of any other ethnicity that would? Because I just don't understand how some of this stuff gets out. Like, I don't get it.
Absolutely. And there's other fashion houses, like a House of CB is another one. Pretty Little Things. There's a black woman who came out and said, well, these designers look similar to mine. And the same thing happened to her, where, you know, she designed some pieces and the pieces look similar to hers. And they didn't give her credit. They didn't even give her credit. They didn't even acknowledge it. They made millions of dollars off of it and didn't even acknowledge it. So this is my thing. That's why I'm always reposting, showcasing black fashion designers. And I showcase all type of fashion designers here on this platform. But I mainly want to showcase black fashion designers. When I was writing with Gay Magazine, shout outs to Corey. Corey said, Miss Stevie, you got to pull some black fashion designers. So, yes, I've written for Gay Magazine. I was I've written for the fashion column or whatever. But when I was doing that, Corey would always tell me, you have to make sure that you're getting and representing black LGBT designers as well, too. And that was something that I was very, very big on doing, even on this platform here. So I agree wholeheartedly. It's a lot of racism in the fashion industry, and it needs to be called out. Something needs to happen. A change needs to happen. So I don't know what fashion house is going to represent this year's Met Ball, but I know last year it was Gucci, and I said, I'm not, nope, I'm good. I'll talk about the other designers, but I will not talk about Gucci, because you don't want us wearing your designs. You clearly stated that by the sweatshirt and the model in blackface. So yeah. So we're going to close out this interview, Fashion Dolls. I can't keep Jay because I know he is very busy working on this gorgeous gown that you guys see in the background. But I'm going to let Jay close out this interview. Do you have any encouraging words for young people that want to get into fashion design?
Never give up. If you need anything, if you're an aspiring fashion designer, you need help, advice, anything, inbox me. You can DM me. I will help you as much as I can. I really feel it's important for us to help the younger generation. So I would definitely say if you need any help, any motivation, any guidance, just inbox me. I'll be more than happy to help you. And just stay true to yourself. Like I tell my little mentee all the time, stop looking at other people's garments. You ready to make your own. Do it from your heart, from your mind and your soul, and that's when your money will come in.
Liz wants to know, what is your power word before we wrap up?
My power word. Can't. And I'm going to say can't because I say can't all the time. And the reason why is because if somebody tells me I can't do it, it makes me try even harder to do it. So I actually love the word can't because like people are like, oh, you can't do that. Watch me. So I love the word can't.
All right, Fashion Dolls, let everyone know where they can follow you, where they can purchase your designs.
You can follow me at JaeAmour, that's JaeAmour. And that's on all social media platforms. And just inbox me if you're ready to purchase something, and we'll make it work for you.
All right, Fashion Dolls, y'all go and check out House of Amour because Miss Stevie said so, because I said so. The designs were fabulous. And also check out Chasing Atlanta. Season 5 is back. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Chasing Reality on YouTube. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, for the second day in April, we have Ronald E. Smith. He will be joining us tomorrow at 1 p.m. So this is a Saturday exclusive. You look fabulous. Thank you. Kudos to Melanie Nalama Bridgers. She has been on it this week. So I'm going to post a montage of all of the looks throughout this week so you guys can vote for your favorite LOTW, which is the look of the week. So you can vote 1 through 5. And we will definitely be back tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, with Ronald E. Smith. Thank you so much, Jay. It was such a pleasure having you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
And I would love to have you back in the future, anytime.
Just let me know. I'm down. I would love to.
Welcome to come to the Dollhouse anytime. I definitely will. All right, Fashion Dolls, y'all be safe and y'all enjoy y'all Friday, April Fool's Day. Keke Palmer, I'll just say this. Keke Palmer got us because we literally thought she was pregnant. She's not pregnant, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys were wondering. So, April Fool's Day. All right, take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.